Welcome, and welcome. My name is Olanraju John, and basically, this is True Finance. This will be our second episode, actually. So, the first episode was more like me answering a question to what one of my friends asked me, and that is what has just kickstarted this entire series, actually. And why did we name it True Finance, or why are we naming it True Finance? True Finance, because actually, the things we would be talking about in this series are the truths, like the truthful things that you need to know as far as finance is or are concerned. Why do I say truth? Truth because I'm standing on the knowledge that has been discovered before now. Now we're also now getting to realize that there are other things that are meant to be known, and sometimes people don't talk about them because maybe they even don't know that such body of knowledge exists. So long story short, true finance, because we are talking about truthful things that are true about finance, the ones that you will not find, on mainstream media, but it's the truth, such that when you now begin to put them to practice, you would see crazy differences both in your finance and then in your own life as an individual. So in the last episode, we basically talked about the fact that budgeting and planning necessarily are not enough. There's a kind of transformation that needs to go on from your inside so that you can take charge of your own finances the way you think they ought to be. Now, as we make progress, basically, let us establish this, that our goal is actually to help everyone become an investor at the end of the day. That is who I am primarily. Like, I trade. I'm a trader. Trading is an investment skill. I'm not saying you should bring your money for investments. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that my goal is that I've observed life and I've realized that the only way to actually be wealthy, no, don't let me say it that way. One of the ways to be peacefully wealthy and not work all the days of your life is to be an investor. And the essence of True Finance, even as a series, is to now talk on the subject of money from the very basic grass level, like from someone who is worth zero naira, $0. Teachings on step by step on how to build till you get to that point where you have now achieved whatever financial goal you have for yourself. For the American dream, I think the retirement amount for the American dream is $1 million. Yeah. And if you convert that to naira, that's like maybe 1.5 billion naira or maybe 1.55. So let's just say that maybe for the Nigerian dream too, it's more like, okay, when you have less than 1.6 billion naira, you can safely retire. That's cool money. 1.6 billion. Put that in maybe treasury bills. Treasury bills right now is around maybe 13%. If they are giving you 13% of 1.6 billion naira per annum, do you know what that is? Let's do the math sharp sharp. 10%, I think 10% should be 160 million. Is that correct? Yes. 10% should be 160 million, and then 3% should be 48 million. Yep. So that would be 208 million. Amazing. That's like 13% of 1.6 billion. 208. If they are giving that to you every year, divide it by 12, bro, you're a baller. So the essence of all this series actually is to be able to guide even the person that feels is in his lowest form of life. It's important to do this because if we don't start from there, then what's the hope of the average person? And then we keep building and building and building and building. So such that when you now come back to check any of all these series from the beginning, you can check where you are and plug in from there and scale your finance. That's it. That's the goal. So basically, in this particular episode, what do we want to consider? We want to consider the reality of money. Yes, let's talk about money, guys. Why money? Money because money is important. Money because, take a look at it rather. For lack of a better word, 80% of what the average person prays about in church or in the mosque or anywhere you pray, 80% of what that prayer point is about, of what the average person prays, is what money can solve. So what I'm just trying to drive at is that money is so important that 80% of your prayer points are filled with what money can do or can buy. That's how important it is. So if something is that important, do you not think that it just makes sense that almost each and every one of us, we are so much intentional? Like, money is the reason why some relationships that were not meant to break. Money is the reason why some people that are not meant to die. Money is the reason why some people even had the sickness they were not meant to have because they did not have the money to eat well at a particular phase of their life. So if money is that important as a need, something that we can use to do something, because at the end of the day, money is a tool. No, money is not the end. Money is just a means to an end. So do you guys not think, or do you as an individual are not think that it makes sense that at least there should be a phase of your life that you dedicate to actually taking to learn how money works. The reason why this teaching is important is also because you may not hear some of all these billionaires doing something, and that is because some of them are operating at a level that is called unconscious competence. What I'm trying to say is that the fact that a billionaire somehow is not saying, let me teach you how to think about money, how to this, how to that, does not mean that there was never a point in time that someone somewhere did not teach them what maybe I'm just about to teach you. So maybe someone taught them formally or informally, but it doesn't change the fact that they are operating on the principles that make money work for them. So for you that you are not seeing money work for you the way it is meant to, or money is not even in your hand at all, it makes the sense that you settle down to learn. And what are the basic things I would just like you to take out of this episode, just to prepare your mind first off for what is coming? And then what are the three triangles of money? It's what we've heard before, but like I said, we will be looking at it from very different perspective, which is what? The making of money, the managing of money, and then the multiplying of money. These three things sound very cliche, they sound very common, but of course money is not common. And the first thing I need you to debunk in your mind or in your heart, that I want you to understand and accept, is that trust me, there is enough resources on earth for everybody to live a wealthy life. Yes, there is. If it has never occurred to you, maybe it's because maybe there are some people somewhere that don't want everybody to be wealthy. But I'm telling you that there are enough resources available on this earth for everybody to be wealthy. So it is left to you to decide to embark on that journey to now bring it to you. And I want to encourage you that you should prepare your mind. There was a day myself and one of my friends were talking, and it was like, Olanrewaju, do you know that one of the reasons why we will never trend, or maybe it will take time for us to trend, is because we are teaching people what they need, not what they want. And actually there's a principle in business that you give people what they want, not necessarily what they need. But I mean, what's the point? I've learned well from great mentors. Keep teaching what people need. When the day that they truly need it come, they will come back to your teaching. Yeah. So I'm just saying this ahead because some of the things you would hear may not be things you are used to. Now, making money, managing money, and multiplying money, I know there are things you've heard before, but if you are not living the kind of life you want yet, then that means that something is wrong somewhere. And for those that are making correct money already, if your money is not multiplying for you the way you desire yet, that also means that there is something you still need to know. So this is a journey. This is a series that will encapsulate everything. And don't forget what I said from the very beginning. We have a goal. What is the goal? To become wealthy. That is end goal, to become wealthy. So we are just trying to take it from the grassroots so that at the end of the day, somehow nobody's left out. So making money, managing money, multiplying money, I'm telling you that these are three things that we all need to understand to become wealthy, and the three of them require different mentality. They require different thought processes, but it has to be a desire that I, Olanrewaju, I honestly want to learn how to make money. I want to learn how to manage money. I want to learn how to multiply money. I want to learn everything that I can learn that will ensure that money stays in my hand. There are people that they make money. In fact, they make good money, but somehow that money doesn't stay in their hand. There are some people, they make good money, the money stays in their hand. When it is time to now invest it, that is multiply, then they make terrible financial decisions. This and many more are the things we'll be looking at in this series, but we'll definitely be taking it one by one. How do I make money? Okay, now that I've now learned how to make money, how do I manage money? Now that I've now learned how to manage money, how do I multiply money? And actually, there's another phase after that. How do I remain consistent and relevant to now continually do all the three? Having systems and structures that are making money for me, managing my money, multiplying my money. That's the goal. That's the way we become wealthy, guys. That's the way we become wealthy. So once again, I welcome you to True Finance. It will be a journey of self-transformation. This is me giving you what you need, because there's no wealth accumulation without transformation. No. Trust me, especially for those that may most likely be coming from different kind of background that has not support them to make money. You have to put in the work, guys. So I we want to welcome you on board. This is just more like an official session to welcome people on board. So in our next class, we'll definitely be talking about what? How to make money. It's simple. How do I make money? Money simply follow value, guys. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, I'm so broke. When person go comot this brooklyn face, offer value, bro. Offer value, sister. And what is value? Value ranges from service to skill. That is how you make money. So the next question to now begin to ask is that, on what scale do you want to make that money? That is when we now begin to look about many and many different things entirely. So take for example, this is a laptop. How much is this laptop? Okay, they are selling it for so amount. I can get it, add my own profit to it, and sell it to someone. That's you offering value. This is me recording the video. I'm not a video editor. It is someone that will edit the video. When the end of the month comes, the person gets paid. That is value. That is how we make money. So some of the questions you need to begin to ask yourself is that, how do I add so much value to myself that the kind of money that I desire will now begin to flow to me? But there's no other way to make money, guys, except adding value to people. So I believe that this particular episode has just created a teaser of what is to come. If it is about becoming wealthy, guys, it's possible, super possible. All we just need to do is to learn the right things. So once again, this is True Finance with the Olanrewaju John brand, and we just hope that as you guys follow us and trust our teachings, you will see your finance, transform in great forms. For those of you that look as though your salary were not enough for you, you begin to see increase and you just keep growing from there. So welcome on board, guys. Please subscribe to this YouTube page, and then till we come your way again. Cheers and God bless.